We're going to close this out now. You're going to come to the conclusion, and it seems as if, though, the investigators wrote on their own form what they wanted to write. It's just that simple. And it's amazing that no news media covered this high-profile case. Witnesses claim to be intimidated. Voters claim to be intimidated. And there's one lady on the stand, I gotta remember her, a witness. This lady, in trying to tell the attorney how unprofessional the agents were, she dropped her head and started crying. They later on asked her to leave without asking her any more questions. Then her husband took the stand, and he lost it, started crying. White lady brought some paper, and soon he too was escorted out of the courtroom. I had never seen a trial like that before in my life. And I've wished that that court case could be put on television. I wish the state of Georgia would put cameras in all courtrooms. I think all courtroom cases should be recorded for the whole world to see. This lady, let me get back up to this, to the wife of this young man that was crying. This lady talked about how rude anyway, I'm gonna skip that. But I am saying that people need to pick up the transcript. The lady on the stand became very distraught. And Mr. Johnny Parker, her husband, I said, well, I'm sorry. Now, witness number 17, sorry, I didn't mean to mention his name. He seemed to be a strong black man, but he was young. He seemed intimidated. And I think he was being honest. But when they called this mother in, I won't give her name, but I'm looking right at it. I just don't know whether to say it or not. Because the fear in South Georgia is so deep. I want to talk to this mother. I asked her for an interview after the mistrial. She wouldn't consent to it, but she's the lady that's standing behind the camera. It's sad in 2013 people feel that way about those in position of authority and those that carry a gun. The mother said she was out raking her yards, I think it was, and law enforcement came and picked her up and brought her to the courtroom on that day, Friday. And she was on the stand before she could say Jack the Ripper. Some people wonder if they got next to her through whatever means to say something different from what others had said. I'm looking at her address too. I kept pretty good notes. I just don't know how to do this. I wanted to read some of it because I want people to understand something. I want people around the nation to get the state of Georgia's versus Lula Smart in Brooks County, alleged voter fraud case. When it's ready, get a copy of it. And see what the citizens must go through here with here in South Georgia. So at approximately 4:15 Friday, the Honorable Judge Ronnie Lane asked the jury to step out, and he pronounced a mistrial. Now, in my most humble opinion, once again, I'm retired military, had my own business for 14 years. I've been on the forefront for a long time, trying to tell the people across America the truth about South Georgia. Google Boston G.B.R. on YouTube, and you will find out about the 31 jail deaths, Willie James Williams case. Another man just died from a fall. A takedown procedure on the streets here in Valdosta. Look and find out about the inhumane conditions and how public meetings are not advertised, and how citizens seemingly don't have a right to address their elected officials, and citizen participation is at the end of the agenda with all governmental meetings here in Valdosta, Lowndes County, Georgia. 250 people came to Walker Street Auditorium over in Brooks County concerning the Quitman 10+2. That's not news in South Georgia. They don't report that. 105 vehicle motorcade traveled from Hayhira to Folsom Bridge, where the historic Week of Terror took place, and Mary Turner was lynched, and the 8-month-old fetus was ripped from her abdomen, fell to the ground, and the head crushed by a white mob member's boot. Those names were sent to the then Georgia governor. Nothing was done about it. Earl Evans, a police officer over in Brooks County, burned alive, not burned alive, shot and burned to a crisp in a police car. And he was a policeman. James Dent, shot back at Washington Funeral Home, Brooks County. Same place, the home of the Quitman 10. Nothing ever done about it. He was dating a white girl, by the way. The Wootons, Ed Denson, and others, dating white women, killed, nothing done about it. Juan Egerton, G95 radio station, shot dead, murdered, nothing done about it. People called me from West Palm Beach about their daughter died here in Valdosta. Nothing ever done about it. Cold case. And on January 10th, KJ was found dead at Lowndes County High School. So he fell into a mat reaching for a shoe. That's still being investigated. Very little is open down here in South Georgia. It seems as if though we're in the 40s and 50s. And what is so sad about it is that nobody or very few people seem to care. You would think that if a 14-year-old black girl could be handcuffed, thrown or tackled, as they say, to the ground or to the floor, among other students and teachers, charged with a felony by Lowndes County Sheriff Deputy, says she struck a teacher. Then the teachers write out a statement, email the mother and father and say they never struck her. Yet she go before the court system. Judge Ellaby, juvenile judge. And she received more punishment as a defender than the aggressors. She was fighting off two other females that she thought was her friend. And they call it the justice system. I went to juvenile court here in Lowndes County. Nearly 100 people, 91 to be exact, was in a hallway. And only 10 chairs in the hallway for people to sit. That means everybody had to stand up. 2 elderly white people. The male gentleman was leaning. And I was taking my notes like I do. I take notes a lot. The white lady asked me, "What are you doing?" I told her, "Can you see all these people standing and don't have chairs?" And she said, "Yes." She said, "I'm glad you're working on that. Wait a minute." And she went to her attorney and she asked one of the attorneys, "Can I get a chair for my husband? He just had surgery." I don't know why he was there. She got a chair for him to sit down. Y'all, this is in Valdosta, Titletown, USA, the football capital of America. And when I bring this up, nobody says nothing. There are very few people that would jump on your issues when you bring them even before the public officials. I have been lied on, called I'm not going to get into that. But anyway, I denied the right to address the Lowndes County Board of Commissioners on issues before the people we put in office by the chairman of Lowndes County Board of Commissioners, Chairman Slaughter. I don't even think the other commissioner had any say-so in it. He just said, we don't want to hear that. And that was it. I'm not talking about in 1919 or 1876. I'm talking about in 2013. Then on May 25th, I was going to Lowndes County High School football. No. I was going to the 2013 graduation. And I was told I was under a criminal trespass warrant that had been in effect for 2 weeks. I had not been told nothing about it. Didn't sign any papers. Went to the magistrate court, superior court, federal court, CID, criminal investigative department, the sheriff department, asked the sheriff himself. He didn't know nothing about it. He said it. My friend went to Lowndes County Superintendent Wes Taylor. I can't go out there because I'm still restricted. 138 days. 138 days in the United States of America under a criminal trespass warrant. Don't know what I did. Didn't sign no papers. Didn't initial no papers. But I got it recorded. That was transmitted over the Lowndes County Sheriff Deputy Radio. Deputy Thomas told me that if I go on the property, I would be arrested. I can't even attend a football game. Can't even attend the school board of education in Lowndes County High School. Because I'm involved in civil and human rights, I can't even go out there if somebody called me, or to go out there with them as I've done so many times, as well as when I was the former president of NAACP. I served this country for over 20 plus years. Something is wrong in the United States of America. And if we fail to make America a better place, we deserve what we get. As I said, back on point, the Honorable Judge Ronnie Joe Lane sent the jury out and pronounced a mistrial. He informed the jury that they should exit through the back, but gave them permission to talk to anybody, including the press, because the case is over. The case is over. When the prosecutor asked the question, the judge simply said, a mistrial. I want to thank the Honorable, outstanding black attorney with the courage to take on such a case, Shaveen King of Albany. I want to thank attorney Carla L. Walker here in Valdosta, Georgia, for taking on such a case. I want to thank Attorney Simmons of the Simmons Law Firm in Atlanta, Georgia. From what I've seen in the courtroom concerning the Quitman 10+2, if you're in Atlanta, I highly recommend Attorney Simmons Law Firm. She came down because of her commitment for equal justice under the law. And I can't omit the black prosecutor, state prosecutor Faye Esselman of Atlanta, Georgia, prosecuting attorney, council of Georgia. She had a job to do. She did it, and she left. Also, Clara E. Busey, prosecuting attorney, council of Georgia. She had a job to do, and she did it. Mr. Joseph F. Burford, prosecuting attorneys, council of Georgia. Director, state prosecutor, support division. He did his job, and I guess he did it well. But in the end, a mistrial was granted, and to many of us black and white right people, we believe it shouldn't even been a case in the first place. So in closing, I said it from the beginning. If you follow my videos over these 3+ years, you'll find out that I said I did not believe that the Quitman 10+2 could receive a fair trial in the southern jurisdiction of the state of Georgia. And you can see that what I said was indeed, as you know, myself and Pastor Benjamin came to Brooklyn County at the beginning of their arrest, and we heard that they were talking about voter intimidation. And today on the witness stand, that's exactly what we saw. We saw people talk about. Now, when I talked about voter intimidation, a pastor and myself, we walked the streets of Quitman. And we reported that. You'll find it throughout my videos. I talked about how the G.B.R. intimidated people to the degree Eric Holder, Mr. Eric Holder in Justice Department, and Clarence Thomas on the Supreme Court. And by the way, I've said it once, I'm going to say it again on this clip. I'd rather see no blacks on the Supreme Court at all than Clarence Thomas. Based on his voting records, in the footsteps of Thurgood Marshall, I'd rather see no blacks at all on the Supreme Court than Clarence Thomas. My beautiful brother, I'd rather see no blacks on the Supreme Court than Clarence Thomas. I don't say that out of hate. I'm saying that based upon your voting record. Let's continue. Intimidation again today. Yesterday we heard some people say they were not going to vote again because of the way the G.B.R. conducted their investigation with the help of the Secretary of State, Office Brian P. Kemp, that initiated this investigation on the Quitman 10+2. There was a problem. There was a problem with signatures this morning, and come to find out that, Lord have mercy, it's just too complicated to explain. I mean, I don't even know where to start on. I didn't know then where to start, and I don't know now where to stop. I chose some of the information to share with you. Some of it I did not. I skipped a lot of it. And if I was kind of fragmented, you can blame me for it. But as you blame and criticize me, think about this. If I had not given you this, what will you know about this? What if nobody said anything? What if nobody reported it at all? Normally, under our form of government, the free press would sit and follow a case of this degree, and they would give you what took place in the courtroom that made good sense. But since I didn't see anybody reporting on that case, as a retired military veteran, I said to myself, this information can't be lost in the cosmos. They can't keep telling us that the forests don't exist and we are catching the hell in the forest and see the animals running for their life, and then they tell us the forests don't exist. And if the forests don't exist, and they tell us that by omitting newsworthy information for decades here in Valdosta, do you not know that we only have one newspaper? Listen, to all of you in Atlanta, Georgia, Macon, Georgia, LA, Chicago, we are a metro city in 2013. And I know newspapers are dying out, and we know why. But look, we only have one daily newspaper. And I believe that's by design, to keep us deaf, dumb, and blind to the times, and unable to make intelligent decisions based on facts so we can bring about change in our community, and therefore everything remains the same. And our children go to church, mosque, synagogue, temple, and to atheist buildings playing a religious game, and everything remains the same. How dumb can we be? Just going to church don't make you a Christian. Just going to mosque don't make you a Muslim. Just going to synagogue don't make you a good Jew. And just because you're a Jew don't mean you're good. We had better wake up, y'all. We better see beyond the skin color. You see. Because the truth is coming out sooner or later. Just as sure as God said, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set and make you free. This is the Ghetto Free Press, and I'm George Boston Rhines. I do this because I love you. I do this because I love this nation. And without a change, this nation will go down to ruin as ancient Rome, because we refused to make America better today than she was yesterday. So don't let religious community leaders tell you that they stand for the right. Let me say it again. Don't let anyone tell you that they stand up for right, but refuse to stand up against the wrong. I don't care if it's your mom and daddy. If they tell you that they stand up for the right and can't stand up against the wrong, then they don't deserve the home they live in, because somebody is lying, and in many cases it's done in the name of Jesus, or in the name of Muhammad, or in the name of Allah, or in the name of Moses, the son of Amram and Yoshabel Moses. But the final analysis is in St. John 8:32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set and make you free. We are going back inside, and we're going to report back with you, give you a little something. I don't want to say too much, but you can rest assured that we are going to put together a 1, 2, 3, 4 by day to give you an overall picture of what took place in this courtroom in Brooks County. We also want you to ask the question, why didn't the Valdosta Daily Times give a more thorough review of what's going on here in this particular courthouse? Why didn't the other South Georgia news media, even CNN? I personally believe that civil rights organizations, along with the Democratic Party and possibly the Republican Party, as well as the Secretary of State, should have been here to see what is going on here with voter registration, voter suppression, and just a terrible level of investigation. I believe that a lot of people in the courtroom was like me. They were shocked by what they saw. They were shocked by the way these investigation was conducted. And I'm here to tell you that it is indeed, really, it is just unbelievable what took place. And I too agree. It was unbelievable, if not disgraceful. Eric Holder, the United States Justice Department, and others, I do believe, to the Civil Rights Division, I believe that we need a more thorough investigation about what we just witnessed in God's world, in the United States of America, concerning voting rights, here in one of the southern states that seem bent on turning back the hands of the 64 Voting Rights Act. What say you, the American people? Where is the civil rights leaders of today? Once again, this is the Ghetto Free Press, George Boston Ryan, KYRC, which means Know Your Rights Campaign. Bye-bye. We're gone.